Swoosh Life Podcast. Season 3. We are back. Season 3, episode 47. This is the Swoosh Life. Look who has decided to show up tonight. Nick Spears in the building, joining us on episode 47. We're back. Swoosh Life Podcast, trying something new. You never know. Anyone who watched that on YouTube, watched me shadowbox myself. Anyone listening just heard me going poop, 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 poop. So, boys, welcome in to our Postmasters show. How are we doing?
What's up, guys? Doing good. I don't know. I'm still waiting on the second tee. I don't know if the Masters got over yet with all the delays of groups in front of me taking their time, 6-hour rounds. So I don't know. But no, it was a good Masters to see. Good to see you guys. Nick, great to see you. Matt, great to see you. Gumby, great to see you as well.
Thank you.
Gumby is now Gumby Ram. If he takes his hat off during the show, he is Gumby Ram.
Thing is crazy. The hair is crazy.
No, I've been good, boys. Got a couple rounds in finally. Weather has turned to the greatness up here in Connecticut, so everything's been good up here. Swing feels good. Been playing good so far. 2 rounds in, and the scriptings are pretty good so far too. Matt, how you doing over there?
I'm good. How's our guest of honor?
I'm doing well, Matthew. Thanks for asking.
Back on the fold. And back after, I'd say, a somewhat impromptu trip down to Augusta, right?
Very impromptu.
Which is very awesome. So we can get into that a little bit, but that's what this whole show's about. It's Nick's stories. Stories from the hills. Hills? I don't know. There's a lot of hills.
There's a lot of hills.
In Augusta. I don't know if we call it the hills, but stories from Augusta. But yeah, we're doing good. I got out and swung the sticks tonight, boys. I'm feeling mighty fine about that. I am ready to play some golf. I think spring golf is here. Matt, you've gotten out a bunch, right?
I have got to play with Blake a little bit. I got 9 holes out with Blake, but that's not why you all came. So we got to get into it, Nick, as a returning guest. We're gonna give you the returning guest 3, 2, 1 real quick.
And then right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
I like it.
Matt doesn't like the small talk anymore. We just go straight for it.
I'm actually nervous
because we don't go for it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's an hour and a half episode.
Oh, that's true.
I anticipate this one being a long one. So just we reached 1,000. We reached 1,000. So Gumby's gonna let me keep running the social media for another year, I think. Okay. So the question is,
we've reached like 1,100 already. Like we've gone.
You're
crazy.
booming.
Yeah, we're really. It's been awesome. Thank you guys for all your support.
So it's good. So Nick, 3 things, right? So what are 3 things in your bag right now, or maybe 3 things that you picked up in a pro shop at a certain tournament in Augusta that you're in love with, right? So these could be old things, these could be new things. If you heard the Justin episode, it could be anything that's in or the bag itself. What are 3 things that you're absolutely loving right now in your golf bag?
Let's go with number 3, a certain shoebox ball marker.
Hey,
all right.
Yes.
I like that one.
And ironically, I believe that was given to me maybe roughly exactly a year ago ish. Was it?
And it was not given. It was purchased. So thank you. Even though you are the founding member, thank you for supporting the podcast and further supporting the podcast, because for our winner, Nick did fund the gift card, basically. So thank you, Nick, on that one. Really appreciate that, your continued support. So that's number 1 in the bag. And thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. But hey, what are 2 and 3?
Oh, man. I would say 2. I'm going to go my Grove 23 putter head cover. Ooh. All black, Carolina blue, 23 stitch, and The cat's black. The cat's black. So that's number 2. Number 1, man, that's
probably the driver that nobody else has.
Wow, he's stumped. 113. Behind you. So for those of you that are listening on the podcast, let me describe the scene.
You got to talk, Nick.
Yeah, I know this.
Here's the scene. Nick is sitting there, and he's wearing the Nike Golf hoodie, which I also have. I wish he had communicated. I would have worn it in solidarity. He's got a Grove 23 hat, a Michael Jordan jersey, a Tom Brady jersey. It looks like a North Carolina jersey behind him, and then on a table, very, very much discussed piece of Nike Golf history behind him. Snake Pack Roshis and Snake Pack 11s, along with Augusta's flags.
Oh, and not to mention, he just throws a little subtle flex with a Don't Sleep on Summer putter head cover and the Nike Golf Club. That's a Jones event head cover from, Seamus. And then the Jones Sport, I call it the shag bag, but it's actually a cooler bag, which I have both of those. So I actually have all 3 of those things. The only things that he's flexing on me are the Roshis and the 11s and the Masters stuff. But other than that, I have that too. So there you go.
I thought your number 1 was going to be the club that you used to beat me in our little competition 2 weeks ago.
It is. You didn't hear me. I asked Matt, what do you think it's going to be?
Oh,
but you must not have heard it.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize on that one.
It is my amazing 2-iron because Nick can't hit a driver. I mean, I can hit it. It just goes left and then it goes left a little more. So I use a 2-iron almost all the time off the tee, and it just so happens it happened to beat Matt, who is using.
No, I was talking about your putter. You beat me in a putting competition. I beat you on the simulator. I was talking last year when we played. Oh, yeah. You mashed that thing, which led me to get.
This is the same Brooks 2-iron that he had in the bag for the Masters this week.
Well, it's the same club, but Brooks is a 3-iron.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Brooks has the graphite shafted.
It's the Vaporfly Pro.
Okay, I thought you were going to go with the Method Origin, which, by the way, everyone, as you're listening to this on a Wednesday, Saturday is April 15th. The anniversary of Release the Putter. So when you go out for your rounds, you're listening to this on a Wednesday, maybe you're getting out to play on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend, tag us, hashtag Release the Putter, tag us, and let us see your methods, whether they're method origins like Nick has, method cores, straight up methods. We great time in Nike history. So let's celebrate this weekend. All right. So the 2 in 3, 2, 1. And as you can tell, this has already taken 3 minutes and way too long, right? Okay.
I'll go quick.
So in the past year, no, you're fine. We got plenty. See, this is what happens when we start early. It's like flying first class. We got plenty of leg room here. All right. Yeah, so 2 things from Nike Golf that you love wearing or using in the past year. So it doesn't have to be the newest, most limited thing. Could be that hoodie you're wearing. Just what are 2 things you find yourself going back to?
You know what? So my rain jacket, windbreaker, the Storm Fit is from 2016, and I wore it basically the whole time I was at the Masters. It's my jacket. It's my go-to jacket when you live in Illinois and you have to play golf all but 3 months out of the year in jackets. That's my go-to jacket. Lightweight, easy to swing in. That'd be one of them. Did you say it's strictly clothes?
It could be footwear also. So it could be, you gave us a piece of footwear. A great note there is, people always say, oh man, rain gear is really expensive, but when you buy a good set, it lasts you a very long
last.
time.
You're right. It does last. And
Absolutely.
I will say the place I was at on Saturday, it rained and then it rained a little more and then really rained. And my upper was dry.
Give us a piece of footwear, your favorite footwear that you've been rocking, and it doesn't have to be from this year's release. Just what's your go-to?
I think if anybody listened to this podcast the first year, if I'm actually golfing, the Infinity Tour is most likely going to be on my feet unless I'm going somewhere where I really need to flex strong, the Infinity Tour is going to be on my foot.
See, and that's the interesting thing, because a lot of us with these collections, we talk about, getting all these things, but then we have ones that we kind of gravitate back towards. Like there's some good old reliables that we all enjoy. Okay, last one, then Gumby and Keith will take it the rest of the way. What is the one thing that you wish you would see from Nike? Now, this could be a product release. It could be a marketing campaign. What is one thing, and it doesn't have to be golf related either. What is just one thing maybe you'd wish would come back, or maybe something that would be created?
Oh, gosh, Matt. Can you narrow that down to one?
What pops into your mind first?
You know what? Okay. I know the answer to this. I wish that they would come back to social media like they were. I think, and I know, they're not making clubs hardware anymore, but they had a heck of a following, and it was just more fun. Like you waited for that Nike guy to win, and whatever they were going to put up Sunday night or leading into a major or something like the Players, the scripting was coming, and you just couldn't wait to see what it was or how they were going to do it, put it all together.
Don't sleep on summers.
The hashtags. Let's be honest. That's how all of us morons here came to know each other. Through that. That's how it happened. So exactly. I think I wish they go back to more social media, but it is Nike, and they don't really have to do advertising because people like us, we're going to buy it no matter what, right?
Interesting, though, that I noticed Nike SB still has an account.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, but they're
still under the whole sportswear thing too. Like this,
is it?
Well, I don't know what that's under, but I'm saying golf and tennis and SB is supposed to be under the same sport umbrella kind of thing, where it's club sport, I guess is what they call it. So maybe SB is on its own because it's not technically a club sport. So maybe it's just golf and tennis that's at the club, kind of thing. So
yeah, it was just weird because I got a targeted ad for the Jordan 4 SB when it came out.
Nice. Those are nice.
Yeah, they are very, very nice.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Nick, is to bring that back. And Keith and I had some discussion. I think we've all had, but the Tiger trackers that are out there now and everything like that. They're all asking where are the scriptings and everything for the Masters, and no one from Nike could be reached for comment. And it's where are they gonna put it? I don't think those people don't understand what has happened. They just follow one person. They don't follow everything like we do. And they just they want these scriptings out there. Nike's giving scriptings to the athletes. That's why we got Tom Kim scripting. That's why
we got Tom's.
We got Finau's, Tony and whatnot. And seeing all the behind the scenes stuff with Elena, putting stuff out there for Tony, just Finau fresh, just perfect. Follow that account. Yeah.
We can get into it when we start talking about it, but let me tell you something. That family, they are the coolest. Yeah. They might have had bigger followings than some of the golfers on the course.
Yeah, we need to get them on the podcast.
Yeah.
So if anybody's got connections, reach out or ping them.
So but I don't know where you put the scriptings now, because there's not any place you can put it on Instagram. There's not any place you can put it on Twitter. So how do you want them to get the scriptings out there? You just can't anymore. So
here, I got an idea.
Swoosh Life.
Send it to us. We'll do it. We'll do it for you, Nike. We've told you 8,000 times. I'll tell you 8,000 more. We'll do it for you. Matt's a genius at this stuff. He's raised us over 300 followers in a month and a half. Come on.
I think it's all Keith scripting is what took us over the top.
Man,
well, by the way, great pictures.
I did not realize how popular Keith scripting was. It might be more popular than Keith's pick, to be quite honest. We were watching, we do the collab stuff now on Instagram and everything. Keith puts his scripting out for the first one of the year, and the comments and the likes that he had on this thing had 300 likes in 2 hours. We don't get that on our thing. I don't get that. Keith's got like a cult following.
It was all because of the secret shoe behind me that's coming soon. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, so do we just bring that topic up right now before we get into
I had one thing for Nick real quick. Nick.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the next percents? I know you're a big Infinity Tour guy, but are you wearing any of the next percents at all? Or are you going back to Tour Premiere or original Infinity?
I believe one of you, Matt or Keith, nicknamed the blue and pink ones the Gumbies. So yes, I do have them. I do like them. There's something about the heel. I don't know if it feels like it sits a little lower on my heel than the original. But that's the only reason I didn't buy more. And to be honest, I just don't like this year's colorway though. Now the Masters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one, that's amazing. But the rest of them it didn't do it for me this year so far.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is Infinity Tour, I did not get a bunch of because my heel did not fit Infinity Tour. It fits next percent. Yeah. But I like the forefoot a little bit better, I think, in Infinity Tour. So with the hexagonal zoom.
You like it better in the original?
Yes. Yeah. So if I could get this current model, the NXT, if I could get the next percent's heel with the forefoot, but that's it just goes to show how hard it is to make a perfect shoe.
Yeah, really.
Everyone had a problem with the heel in the.
I think I'm the only one who didn't.
Yeah, I know so many people that had problems with the Infinity with the heel. I just think it was too tight on that back thing. But yeah, the next percent's heel is.
And we got wide versions of the next percent. Did we ever get wide versions of the Infinity Tour?
No.
We didn't?
Well, no, we might have. To be
I
quite
think
honest.
we had not all colorways though.
It's crazy how like quickly that run seemed to end, I guess. But I guess there was a second year run of it, but they didn't have as many like crazy colorways that year.
Yeah. It was a different swoosh on it, the full swoosh.
Yeah.
It was like the lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's right. That one the second year run looked a little bit wider actually. I don't know if they actually were, but they looked a little bit wider. So
yeah. But the secret to Keith's scripting and the topic, I think, of the day. So breaking news. So Keith had actually taken multiple pictures of that scripting. One with the white pair, one with the black pair. Or we were just discussing, right? Like, do we show the black pair, the white pair, or do we show both and ask which one's which? And then all of a sudden at the Masters, Thomas Peters shows up in the black pair. Did anybody else? Yep, there you go. So they're wearing the black one. So I go, Keith, post the black pair, post the black pair. And then 1 week later, here we are, and it's on Nike.com. So I guess roundtable around the horn here. Which one of you got the white one? Will you be getting the black one? And do you think there will be a third pair coming up? Do you think we'll get other colorways? So I'll kick it to Keith first, right? So do you have I don't know if you got the white one. Will you plan on getting the black one? Do you think a third one's coming out?
I do have the white pair of the ones that just came out, the retro ones. I will be getting the black pair when they come out. I hope to God there's more. I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a couple more coming out this year. And I will be getting those as well because they're all going to go towards my daughter's college funds in years when Tiger Woods retires as a collection. But yeah, I will
plan for Augusta.
I don't wear black shoes, so it's really hard to be like I'm gonna spend $220 on a pair of black shoes. I got hooked up from our friend of the program, Chris Doyle. He hit me up with some VT2s in all black, and they're replacing my TW17s that were all black. So I keep like one black pair because if I wear black pants, then I want to have the black pair. This is the only time. So it's tough. I'm looking up there. I see two pairs of TW13s, one from 10 years ago, one from this year, and I went to the range and I wore the 10-year-old pair today because they're still in such good shape. So I don't know. I think I'm going to say this lightly. I think I'm good on stuff for a little bit. I think we hit like this crazy stretch run from Nike, and they've just absolutely smashed it. Like just So good. So, it's because I don't have enough drop front shoe boxes in my where all my shoes live. I got 2 pairs in regular boxes, which is just blasphemy for me. The AM ones, Varsity Red, and the AM one Always Fresh. And then I've got TW13s. I picked up the 6s. I got another pair of Jordans. I got the VT2s. I'm just I'm full up, boys. I think I need to be good for a little bit until the VT3 somehow blows me away, because I don't really have a pair. But I've been getting closer up looks, and I don't know if you guys follow. This is completely random, but follow GM Golf and Good and all that stuff. And GM Golf did a thing with Texas today, and one of the players and one of the Texas players, one was wearing a TW13 new, so the retro. One was wearing the VT3 in just white and black, which I don't think are retail yet, but they're definitely being provided to college players that are Nike staff or Nike schools. And then what was the other one? Maybe it was, I can't remember, but getting a closer look up at the VT2, and the mesh sort of front on these VT3s, I should say, the better forefoot for everything, looks really, really cool. We've joked that it kind of has those lunar control vibes a little bit, and it really is starting to I don't know, it's starting to pull up my heartstrings a little bit. So I think I'm good on stuff for a little bit, and it's going to be hard to say no to a pair of TW13s because I love them so much, but I think I'll have to pass on these for a little bit, for right now. Sorry, that was a really long-winded way to say.
No, but it's a good thought. Look into the thought process. It is.
Yeah.
So that means Nick has no hesitation now. What do you think, buddy? You getting the black ones? Did you get the white ones? And will there be multiple colorways? What do you think?
I did not get the white ones. I'm not getting the black ones. I still have my whites from 10 years ago. Don't be too upset with me there, Keith. Do I think there'll be more colorways? Yes, I do think that. But that is just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so for me, I actually got the white ones and I passed them on to a friend who didn't have TWs. I actually had a fresh pair of TW14s that I had gotten over the wintertime and still haven't worn. And I just kept thinking, there's no way they went into the lab, lasered this thing, tried to get a 1-to-1 replica for us to only get one colorway. And I'm going to say it again now that the black pair is real. I really doubt that it's just going to be 2 colorways, right? Just the golf fandom right now is demanding it. The nostalgia is at an all-time high. So, and you see Tommy Fleetwood playing.
I would say it seems like the players are demanding them, that they're playing a ton more.
And let me tell you, I breezed over the playing part of the last weekend because I wanted to talk about this. Is that Friday I got to play with Blake Sledge, got to play 9 holes before my flight home, played in the Air Max 1. What a great shoe that I could go from the course to the airport. I don't think the traction is there on a hard, dusty kind of course, right? Blake's course was just opening up. It was, I would say I thought the ground was a little hard. I was also, my swing was all over the place. I was literally falling backwards on drives, not even down the line, backwards, away from the ball. I'm hitting fadeaway drives. So sorry, Blake. Sorry you had to see that. But like I said, at least I take my 100 cuts quickly, so I take it within time, Patrick Cantley. All right.
Oh, yes.
We're going to get into that. I know Keith has alluded. I've alluded. I put stories up. I know he's a non-Nike person, so I took my licks. But then Sunday, I play Easter Sunday, and I'm like, okay, let's try the TW14s. Let's try it because all this new stuff. Because to your point, VT3
looks good
got the Air Max 1, and I'm still holding out hope that there is a Carmine or an Olympic or an Oreo 6, right? I'm still got to believe that's got to be something that's coming along during the wintertime, right? So I'm trying to save money for that. I'm with you. The VT3 looks spectacular. The white blue one we've seen overseas, just as a regular white blue shoe, that's actually pretty sick. The little touches on the tongue. And then the gray with the blue volt gradient, I'm all in on it, but I got to wait a little bit too, Gumby. I'm with you. I'm tapped. for a little bit here, but yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna pass on the black pair because I'm willing to bet that there's gonna be a third or fourth colorway. Maybe we get 5 or 6 like we did Jordan 12s. Like, why would you pull it out of the vault?
No, I mean the only other colorway that we know of that we've seen from the TW13 line 10 years ago was a Masters version. So if we're retroing everything, that's all we can speculate that could possibly come. If we get more than that, that would be phenomenal, And if we get the Masters, holy shit, that would be great, Do
you think if we're delayed, do you think the white one was supposed to come out earlier? Maybe this black one was supposed to be a month ahead, and maybe we were supposed to get do you think there's maybe a little delay?
Possible.
Or do you think it's too late for a Masters to come out and it would have to be something else?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing is we didn't get a Masters at Masters. That would have been
insanity.
More.
The app would have blown.
It would have been more poignant to a release. Like they already dropped everything at once on us. The Always Fresh release just blew our minds, right? They did a bag. They did a bag. They don't do.
They've never. I have a Vapor bag that had a silver, but I think that was for the launch of the Vapor line. I don't think that was major specific. I can't remember them ever doing a major specific bag.
And I know we knew the date of the Air Max 1, and then we got everything that same day. We got the
how about that fake out Nike? We all got our Air Max 1s.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if anybody's wondering, if you buy something and you go back in the app 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, they will not combine next day shipping. So it hurt, but it was nice.
Oh, gosh.
We do it for the content. We do it for you guys. We do it for the content.
But speaking of spending ungodly amounts of money on products, Nick Spears went to the Masters. Our on-course reporter is here. Nick, how many days were you there? How much did you spend in the pro shop? And just how slow is Patrick Cantley?
Trust me, I'm gonna get to Patrick Cantley. I got some things. Anyway, I got to go to that tournament down in the Southeast.
I think it's not trademarked. I think you can say you went to the Masters.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you guys were good with not losing everything here. So yes,
I think we
went
started
there.
saying the first tournament or season opener. I know Jordan Rogers from Nike, or former Nike guy, who might possibly be a friend of the podcast soon, did a whole video saying how brands
it was awesome.
Avoid the Masters talking about it, at least printing about it.
Yep.
Even made a reference to those shoes
But
behind Nick.
This book exists. This is Badges, Egg Salad, and Green Jackets. Masters A to Z. I read this to Collins, my daughter, the night before.
Oh, it's a kid's book?
Yeah, it's a kid's book.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
I've never seen
what's the N for? Is the N for Nike or Nick Spears? What is the N in the Augusta?
Let me
book
find
for?
it. The N is for
Nike.
no cell phones.
Yes.
So
which
there was one that in here, T was for, I'm expecting it to be Tiger, and it was for trophy. And I was like, come on, man. Or W, you could have done Woods, and it was for www.masters.com.
Okay.
Come on.
Not bad. But speaking of no cell phones, I also want to know. So Nick posts out of nowhere, tags us, the Swoosh Life Podcast. He's with 2 other guests of the Swoosh Life Podcast, with Jacques and Justin Whelan, and no response after that. Just ghosts us. Just posts and ghosts on us. And I just want to know, when they took your cell phones, how many messages did you have the next day when you came off the course?
So okay, Gumby, you know this. It might be the coolest thing about the Masters is everyone there is in the moment. You watch a game on TV of any sport, you watch any golf tournament. What is everybody doing? They're holding up their phone, they're recording everything. They're not even watching the live thing in front of them. They're looking through their phone to make sure they have that moment on there. And at the Masters, there's none of it. Everybody's in the moment. It still baffles me, Gumby, as you know, when you're walking up to, the gate, and they're telling you, no cell phones, no cell phones, no cell phones, and people are still trying their hardest to sneak a cell phone in. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand why you would even try to ruin your chance of walking in those gates. I'll never understand that. But people do, and whatever. I didn't. But to answer your question about the next day, I had quite a few messages.
My message to Nick was, if you get this in time, please get me this.
So for you guys listening, watching, was it last week? Well, I don't even remember what you're arguing about or talking about or bullshitting about, but I kept telling Matt karma, because I knew it was coming, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to jinx myself. So I waited until, I don't know, what time was it? Gumby, like 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, it was literally like 7 a.m, I think. And you were like, here I go, mother. And I was like, karma. And then post a picture of the badge and then gone for the rest of the day. Like, turn the phone off, left it in the car, and he's in the damn Masters. And we're just like, if anyone actually knows Nick's great, but he's a little bit of a jokester here and there. And so he literally, he's literally posted pictures of him or sent us pictures of like Grove when he was there, but he wasn't there. This was like when he was like 4 months ago, and we're all like speculating in the chat, like, he's at Grove right now? He's at Grove right now? And then he's like, I'm not at Grove. I just like posting pictures. It's like, come on. So we didn't know like if he was actually there or not, like, until he literally like sent us a picture of him and Justin Whelan and John Slade, like at dinner. And it's,
I mean, you guys know this because they've been on the pod, but two extremely nice dudes, down to earth.
Yeah,
great time. I wish I could have stayed longer, but I couldn't. We had to get going. But I ended up helping Jock out with a hoodie that he could not get in the pro shop, so I went back the next day and helped him out. So I got to get that out to him. Justin he's got everything. Masters already. And you could have never helped him out because he's got it all already. But two great guys that love the podcast, by the way. So keep it up.
Better pro shop, Grove 23 or the
Grove
Masters
23.
Pro Shop. Wow, with that, I love it. Okay,
whoa.
I'll let you all resume.
What was your favorite thing that you picked up at the pro shop? And then what was your favorite thing that you ate there?
Okay, so this is why I'm on this podcast, because it's the Swoosh Life, and I'm Nike only.
Yeah.
So a lot of you might be out there going, "What you went to the Masters and you really didn't buy anything?" I'm not going to go in and buy a Peter Millar shirt. I don't wear it. It's not me. The Masters brand stuff. There were a couple nice looking shirts. It's just it's not me. So I stick to the things I collect, which are flags and balls, and I got my kids' hoodies. I got some buddies, some other things. There's 3 idiots in front of me that probably wanted something, so I may or may not have got something. I don't know.
Well, I would appreciate if you got me something, but I specifically, like, for a purpose. I didn't ask you.
I know you didn't.
But there's a reason why, and let me explain. I have yet to go, right? So I do have one ball marker from a good friend who loves Augusta, loves the color green, and I still haven't used it. I have it in the bag as like a good luck charm, but I haven't used it. Like I like stuff from places that I've been. The only place I have bugged you for stuff is Grove 23, just because of the Michael Jordan collection, and I know there's like almost zero chance that I'll ever get there. So like Grove 23 stuff, I'm super interested in. But the Masters, like I was kind of saving it like for when I go, but I'll still accept a gift if you got me something, buddy. So
let's put it this way. These two asked me for something and you didn't. And I knew that if I didn't, Even if you were just joking, I would never hear the end of it.
No, honestly, like straight up. So like, this is the reason. The other reason is I felt bad for you in a way. Believe it or not, that you could feel bad for somebody who gets into the Masters and Grove 23, right? The reason I felt bad is because like I don't know if you've got the black Amex or what's going on, right? But but I'd imagine you probably had
okay, hold on, wait. No, anybody out there?
No.
So it's like there's got to be a limit to like how much stuff, like, because if you honor everybody's request or you answer everything, all of a sudden like you're walking out, like how are you going to enjoy the tournament if you got 30 bags hanging from your, like, do they have a check?
That's why you ship it right from their little ship.
Oh, they let you ship it. Okay.
You can.
Yeah, and you can store it.
Yeah, you can either check it or ship it. You can do both if you want. But
because I know from the Always Fresh pack sitting here in Chicago on the Nike app, I'm broke. Right, like I couldn't imagine like being there at Augusta.
Yeah, when I went, I had a ton of people just asking me for stuff, and it was like you just have to kind of like pick and choose and all that stuff, and that's kind of just.
Here's how I broke it down: is I don't have a lot of friends who are big into the, like I have a lot of friends at golf, but they're not into the collecting the stuff and yada yada yada. So I have just couple people that asked me that I had no problems getting stuff for. Then after people on Instagram found out I was there were quite a few people who I've never even talked to before. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I don't know you. We've never even had a conversation. You can't expect me to buy stuff for you, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. And Blake feels the same way as I do. We were golfing and we were even talking about it. He feels the exact same way. So
I asked because I had a friend go and he's texting me. He's like, I got you everything. And then because I had it written down and I forgot this. And so then when I saw that Nick was going back, then I was like, cool. Like I have another chance to get it. Cool. But I agree with you, Matt. Like, I think like if you've gone already, you can get stuff from somebody. If you haven't, then it's kind of like the rite of passage, because that, like Justin has said, like Nick has said, like I've said, that place is like so cool to like walk into that store and take it all in. Like you come out with stuff that you don't want. But I agree, Nick. I have one shirt from there and it doesn't fit me anymore. I just like have it. Yeah. I just get all the stuff that is like that I want around the Masters or to remember. Like I asked for like the key fob because I want it on my keys, you know, like I want that to be my new like lanyard kind of thing. Or I asked for a dog collar, you know. So it's like it's the random stuff like that I think is like is super cool. And
I was impressed by the selection of dog stuff they have there, bowls, leashes. It's insane. I'm like, holy crap. And it was sold out. Like how many people are buying this stuff? Well, we've all seen who was that golfer, Golf Digest, that put out that they make 70 million.
Yeah, they make 10 million. It's 10 million a day, which is
that's unreal.
Which is a million every hour.
Was it like 200 every second or something?
Yeah, that's like 200 grand every second. You're like, what the fuck? Like, and you can see when you're in the lines, and the lines are like, there's so many people there, but you can see that these people are just going through it. And if you're on somehow the Masters shop side of TikTok right now, like I am, and you're seeing everybody's hauls, they look like Nick's setup behind him if you're watching. But some of these people, they're just throwing down Millar after Millar after Millar after Millar, like with everything else. And you're like, these Peter Millars are $150 polos, like right now. Like it's easy that they've just spent.
And people are complaining about the Nike polo prices.
$1,000 on polos. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like the guy I went with, I'm pretty sure he walked out with 8 or 9.
It is like the coolest flex in the world too, because like you see somebody in the wild like wearing like something Masters, you're like, oh,
what brand?
I know where you've been.
To be honest, I know Peter Millar was in there, and then the other ones that I looked at there were more what I would call sporty looking. And the tag on the the back here, it just said Masters. So I don't know if they have their own brand. Yeah.
I always wondered that. I wonder if that was like the unofficial like brand of the Masters.
Yeah, and I saw something too that like workers got like it's Peter Millar polos that the workers are wearing and everything. Like that. So you picked up your balls and your flags, so you're happy there.
Yep.
You got a 23 flag. You had to get a 23 flag, obviously. What'd you eat? Like, obviously the menu is
I'm the world's pickiest eater. So in 2015 when I went, the pimento and cheese just not my thing. So I stick to pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork sandwich.
Really good.
Which is really, really good. And then I like the ham and cheese on rye. It's plain, but it's good.
Did you get the peach ice cream sandwich now that it was back?
It is back. I know that rumor was going around that it wasn't, but it's definitely there. The guy I went with, I think he had like 30.
I would too, man. Those things are delicious. Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. We were talking about the merch and the food. You have lines like you see at Disney World that take an hour and a half. You can go through that, and I'm not joking. It's the what do you call that? The
queue.
The queue.
Yeah.
It's just like Disney World, but a ride that would take an hour and a half to get through, the Masters gets you in and out in like 15 minutes.
It's funny because you're the second person to say that. Justin said that last week when he went on a Monday. We recorded with him that night, and he said that the line for the merch was past like the practice area, like where the bunkers are and everything like that.
You know
but
where
it was like 10 minutes to get through.
Where the Golf Channel and ESPN are at, Gumby.
Yeah.
It was out to there, and we were definitely inside within 15 minutes,
which is just
insane.
Wild because it's probably like a quarter of a mile long.
Yeah, and when you get in there, it's shoulder to shoulder. Like it's hard to explain. I hope everyone in their lifetime can go there. Just find a way, save the money if it's what it comes to. Just you have to go.
If only I knew somebody that had a hookups.
Yeah, really. I'm with you guys though. Like I don't get anything unless I actually go to the place, get something. Like somebody got me a pin when they went in 19 when Tiger won. So I'm like, that's awesome. It was just like extra and they just gave it to me. And I was just like, that's awesome to have from when he won. And if it's something so small like that, that's absolutely fine. But I would go. But another thing is, if there's no Nike in there, I'm not buying a lot of things either. I know I'm weird.
But that's why you come out with like
Nick and I are in our own category, a mug. Yeah. Something.
Yeah. You come out with a mug. You come out with like a keychain,
yes,
the flag,
the random little things. That's all I would probably get.
Yeah.
So you like the pins?
Yeah. I love pins.
I like a pin collection.
Wow. Nick is holding up a 23 pen. So this was the most.
Circle.
This is for you too, Keith.
Oh,
it's for me.
Yep.
Aww.
Oh, I'm gonna start crying on the podcast.
Very nice.
Hey Gumby, what do you want?
I just wanted a magnet to put on my truck. Yeah.
Oh, that's
magnet. Thank you so much, Nick.
So most
Matt
Matt
was the good guy and didn't say a word, so I feel like an ass.
Because I want those 11s. I want those 11s that are back there. I want those snakeback 11s.
Oh wait, there's an extra pair. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go. So
no, that's not happening.
It came out that this was the most watched Masters in a while. Millions more viewers.
I don't know how I believe that.
I believe it because I think a lot of it had to do with the Live versus PGA. I know Tiger was not in it, but they were saying, this was just going back. And you got to remember that when Tiger won, it was moved up because of weather, right? So that was, we were kind of riled. Like that was like a 1 p.m. finish, I want to say, 2 p.m. Central Time finish. They moved it up because of weather. So take us through kind of, I forgot if you were there the last 3 days, the last 2 days. Take us through the feeling on the grounds, the weather, Tiger, Brooks versus Rahm. Take us through the days and how it progressed.
So obviously he still pulls everybody. When he walks out there, it's Tiger's here, and it's like there's megaphones out there like, hey everybody, Tiger's here, Tiger's here. They find him. So Friday, he hadn't teed off yet, and my buddy who had never been there yet, we walked the whole course in the morning, and as we got to 18, we came back up to the clubhouse, and we're just kind of walking around there, and out of nowhere, there's probably, I mean, there's a lot of people, but not what you expect. Here he comes from the clubhouse to the practice green. Now, if you've ever been to the Masters, that area, there's no ropes. He's got his police escort, whatever, but he just starts walking, and we just happened to be within 5 feet of him as he walks by. No one in front of us, just straight shot. Walks by, goes to the practice green, and we walk up front row, and I don't know, we watched him for 20 minutes, putt, and I bet within 5 minutes that green was 10 rows deep all the way around it. But it's just so cool because he puts his tees down and puts the putter in between it, and he made, I think, 8 straight putts with one hand doing that. Is it the gate drill?
The gate. Yeah, right or left? Was it the right hand?
He was doing right hand and just made 8 straight, like it's nothing from 5 feet, and it's just like, he's a god. If he could just,
That's
if
awesome.
The poor dude could just walk, man. Friday wasn't bad. Saturday, ooh, he's hurting.
Which we can talk about this a little bit, and I know this is a topic that you've brought up numerous times. Thank you, PGA Tour. Thank you for moving everything up, because usually the Masters is like a week or two later. But everything's this 1 month cadence now. We've got people wearing skull caps at Sawgrass, right? We've got Tiger playing in the rain in Augusta, which, by the way, have you looked at the forecast this week? Immaculate.
Perfect.
Amazing.
No, Augusta doesn't change. First full week of April. It's always the first full week of April.
Is it? Because I want to say that they had it the same week as Release the Putter, April 15th.
That year possibly, but that would have been that like the 1st of April started on like Monday or Tuesday or something like that.
So I might be wrong.
Came back around.
So I might be wrong.
Because it's always the first full week. So because April 1st was like a Sunday or whatever it was, or Friday, then it started April 4th week and everything like that. So that's
I can tell you this. I didn't get to see it on TV. The azaleas were completely gone. There was no pink. It was they bloomed early.
I noticed that
this year.
So 2015 was April 9th to the 12th.
Yeah.
So
in 2015?
In 2015 it was April 9th to the 12th.
Yes, it was, because that's yep, you're right.
You went.
Yeah, that's that moron won that year.
Yeah.
He only wears blue.
It's okay. I had Patrick Reed win the year that I went, so
hey, he was Nike then.
So I know we've gone back and forth, and Justin's the one that broached the LIV thing. Was the LIV versus PGA stuff, like, was it real amongst the crowd? Like, were there like people rooting for LIV go Brooks and people rooting PGA go Rahm, or people were just there in the moment rooting for both?
So I never once heard it as far as LIV PGA. It was people rooting for Brooks or people rooting for Rahm or whoever. But there's only one person who was rooting strictly for PGA because his father is fairly high up at the PGA. Matt, you know who I'm talking about. JD.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he was definitely only PGA. He had some nice things to say, especially about Phil, but we'll leave that alone. Because
did you guys feel conflicted watching this weekend or no? For the people that watched, like, I was cheering for Brooks, but I also was like, what is this going to do in the media? Like, how's the media going to spin this that Liv won? And I was trying to come up with, I think I'm like okay with it, like slightly, because I think it's more media spinning instead of players now. And I've realized that when Brooks played a practice round with Rory, like it did not matter. But it still felt like I was cheering for Rahm over Brooks, which I didn't like. You know,
like looking at yourself in the mirror, and that's why.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird because I didn't want to see what the result would be if they won, I guess, which is just like such a weird feeling. So did anyone else feel that confliction, or was this just my own?
I have strong thoughts on this, but I want to hear what Keith has to say.
Crisis.
I think we got the best of the best, and that's all that matters in a tournament like this. Yeah. They're going to go their own separate ways after this, but I was focused on a Swoosh guy winning. If it was Brooks, I was focused on Tiger making the cut. That's all I wanted, was him to make the cut.
Same. I really thought Jason Day had it for a while, and I was real hype. I was real hype, guys.
When he got to 9 under, I was like, yes!
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's our ticket. That's my thing.
It felt like the guys just had enough of the week, though, with all the stop and starting and the weather and stuff and being so cold. It was so beautiful the first 4.5 days there, and then it just turned to the worst with the weather and, trees falling down everywhere and stuff. But it was.
I do think the trees falling down. Sorry, I wanted to say this earlier, and sorry to interrupt, Keith. I think the reason that no one was hurt during the trees falling down is because there were no cell phones. If people were on their cell phone, someone would have got hurt.
Oh, that's a good point.
True. Yeah, that is a good point.
So I think that's
also it was cold and rainy, so not a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
There were still a lot of people out there.
And the only other thing too is that
not as many else.
Phil makes a run on Sunday, and that was who I was very much cheering against. And it was because
did you say against?
Yes.
Against.
Because it was like 30% Liv and 70% hearing him compared now as the oldest person to now and Tiger, and getting another jacket like 4, so that he would just been put more up there like with Tiger against Tiger, and that would have just really upset me, so that's all. But
he's playing in Jordans now.
No, he was not at the Masters.
Not at the Masters.
Yeah,
not the Masters.
Yeah, hello, fellow young kids. Look at my Travis Scott golf spikes. Yeah, but go ahead, Keith. Go ahead, Keith. Finish your thought.
No, I wasn't rooting against any of the Live guys. I was there watching the best players play at the Masters, and that's what we got out of that. And we got Brooks shining like he usually does in any of the majors, and that's all you could ask for. It looks like he's healthy again. He looks good, Is he up in the air or what choice he made? Who probably, if you watch the documentary and everything, full swing and see his performance there and see how much it probably killed him to come in second place after a 54-hole lead of a major that he hasn't had, on his belt yet. So I was happy with the performance. I was still happy that Rahm won. Like, he is an unreal player. He is a very good player.
Yeah, you can't be mad at Rahm.
No,
no way. And I was just going to say, I did see like the field just kind of like fall apart Sunday, though, the rest of the field. And it was just kind of like a 2-3 man. And then a couple guys, like even Scotty came out of nowhere and then he doubled 12. And I can't believe that he flew the green on 12 and his ball was gone. Like, I thought he was going to come back and win. I swear, I thought he was going to come back and win.
I text you guys and go, here comes Scotty. I was, yeah. But what was I going to say? Shoot, I lost it. Go on, Matt. It'll come to me and I'll interrupt.
I'm done.
Come to me and I'll interrupt.
I've talked enough, Matt.
It's all right. Before we kick it to Nick, and I'll try not to make this a rant, but yeah, there's thoughts that go back and forth like throughout the week for me, right? Like, what happens, like Justin, like we talked about it, like what happens if these guys do want to do a celebration on the 18th, right? Like, you could say it's their right as teammates or league members to do that. But I also like what Fred said about not inviting Greg Norman. Like, oh, by the way, buddy, you've only been here twice in the last decade, and we'd like it to be our tournament, not a live tournament. So go kick bricks. And that's one of the things we respect about Augusta is that they're willing to own themselves, and that's okay, right? Because they are the premier tournament. They are the tournament that everybody else wants to be, right? Like, yeah, I said it, British Open. Like, you wish you had the Masters, right? Like, and no offense, like, you guys have a great rotation and historical things, but there's a reason everybody comes year after year, wants to grow their concession stand and things like that. Now, as far as like Brooks first, I'm always going to root for Brooks. That's my guy. I was rooting for him. And you know, you're watching and you're just hoping that he could turn it around. And, you know, I'm not here to make any like comments about Liv playing 3 rounds. But Gumby, to your point, even with Brooks finishing lower, not winning, they still have that argument now because they had 3 guys finish in the top 10, or they had a good number of guys.
6. I mean, they had 7 past champions and the PGA Tour only had 6. Yeah. So like they that's who they have for their guys. And yes, they did have people finish high. They had, you know,
now I'm still not going to roll
Patrick
out
and Brooks finish. That's fine.
So I'm still not going to roll out a pity party for them because here's a couple things. Because as you know, your heart starts to warm towards them, right? Like, here are a couple things that I thought about is, one, should these guys have higher rankings, right? That's on Liv, everyone. Like, Liv is the one that decided on that format that doesn't allow for official world golf ranking points, right? So they're going to use this to say, see, we're still great golfers. We deserve to be in these tournaments. Well, yeah, but if you're not competing and you're not earning the points, that's really hard, and it's not fair to the rest of the field if everybody else is choosing to compete by the rules that the OWGR put out. So I think it's on Liv to kind of change their format to get those guys into the tournament, because now they're lucky. You know, Phil's going to have an exemption for a little bit for finishing second, and Brooks and all that stuff. And this is the thing about Phil. My relationship with Phil has changed so much over the years, right? Like, as a young golfer, you know, the whole Tiger versus Phil thing, didn't like Phil. But then Phil with the aw shucks and the thumbs up and the aviators, I'm like, this guy's cool. He never really did anything specifically to Tiger. He wins you over, right?
And they did the match together. And that's when I was like, I'm cool with Phil. They're doing the match together. They've bygones being bygones. They're partners now in a sense.
And this is what pains me, because I'd be willing to say I was a Phil fan. I still am a little bit. I think there's always a road to redemption. But the thing that I won't understand, and I don't think a lot of other people can understand, is this. The guy was set to be the next Arnold Palmer. If Tiger was Jack, he was going to be Arnold Palmer. He was going to ride up alongside his guy in retirement, have plenty of TV opportunities, course design opportunities, plenty of merchandising opportunities. He had it all. He had everything. He was set. And I think in this day and age, when people are getting laid off left and right, inflation has prices going up high, a lot of people cannot understand how a guy that had it all could trade it all in to get more. And that's the thing that still is really confusing to me about that, is he didn't have to go and he did, you know? So Nick, I'll leave it to you, because we've gone back and forth quite a bit on this.
And because of Phil, the rest of the PGA Tour is getting richer.
That's fair. I agree. That's fair.
I don't like the way he necessarily did it and some of the things he said.
Yeah.
But in the end, because of what they did, the PGA Tour had to change. And now
they're, and I think that's
copycatting, but it's pretty darn close to what Liv is doing, except for the
there's a lot of. I think that's the thing too, is like, now that the animosity is slightly gone, like, cool, you copied us, you copied us. You know what I mean? Liv copied the idea of another tour from PGA Tour. Like, you know, like, it's not like you could go back and forth on who copied who. We know that PGA Tour has since copied some structure of Liv by doing guaranteed money and stuff like that.
And being there,
they're kind of just both in their own lanes. I don't think that I think post Masters, we will now see like this, like post, like just 2 lanes running congruently, and they will come together when they can for the big events. By when they can, meaning if they were to qualify and stuff, and that's what we'll get. I don't know if we'll ever get. I don't think we'll get them at a PGA Championship, to be quite honest. But I think we'll see
that's two separate entities. PGA of America is separate from the PGA Tour, so we might still get them at the PGA. But again, that's why I'm saying it's on Live to get these guys golf ranking points. They have to change their format because I want to change the argument from the majors are keeping them out, that the golf rankings are keeping them out. They're keeping themselves out by doing that format, right? Like they could just easily change the format and get those guys to qualify. Like we should be able to see Cam Smith. We should be able to see Brooks. Like that's the thing I'm worried about now too, is once these guys fall off the rankings.
Yeah.
Or they just change the world rankings altogether because nobody likes them.
And that's the thing that everyone is also debating about as well. And you think even Tiger's brought up, we know John Rahm's brought it up, that like those are flawed. Like
yes.
And even someone like a Sahith Theegala, who's the 28th best ranked, is 28th ranked player in the world right now, probably more after his Masters finish, saying, I'm not the 28th best player in the world. Like himself saying that because he's like, I've got so much to work on. I'm so new, this, that. Like, but that's not what the rankings are saying. And I'm not saying I disagree, like that Sahith isn't 28th best. He very well, I think he's very good. But if there's something like that happening, that like a DJ is not in the top, a Brooks is in the top, someone like that, like Cam Smith, like that's where we're just and to circle back before we move on to a different topic, so we don't just talk about golf today, which we normally do, but Brooks's interview post round, I believe on Friday, because he finished early Friday on Golf Channel with Tarico and stuff like that. To your point, Keith, of him saying like maybe questioning if he made the right choice or not. If he's healthy last year, I don't believe he goes to Live, because he said that. I think he thought he was possibly done, and he just took the money to guarantee that he would be set. And I don't know if others did that. I could see Paul Casey doing that as well, and why he may have went to Live, because he had really struggled with his back recently and stuff. Even someone like a Bryson was injured at that time, and so it's quite interesting to see who like they. This is a very harsh word, but who they like, quote unquote, preyed on when they were like possibly vulnerable to come over. Versus like, not. And so that's just interesting to kind of hear those words. And I think he's still happy with his choices, and I think they're going to like make the best of it, because it's too hard to get out. And I don't know what the path is to get back in a sense. But I think now because of it, that's why they want more of the lanes running congruently instead of like versus kind of thing, because
I will say they got two things that I'm intrigued by. Is I do like shotgun starts, because I think there's probably 4 majors extra the Tiger could have had if he didn't get the bad end of a draw. But how do you do it with a full field, right?
And even this week he got the bad end of a draw.
Right, exactly. And then the last thing is like, it's not that I'm not for no cut. I still believe I think cuts make sense, but I don't believe that guys should get nothing, right? Like. And I talked about in the other episode, right? Like, okay, like you go to Scottsdale, TPC Scottsdale, or you go to the Waste Management, take $600,000 out of the winner and give everybody 6 G's. You know what I mean? Just to like cover their flights and their food, right? Like you shouldn't have to go broke because you qualified for a PGA Tour event. Like, so whether it's no cut or just making sure there's a stipend for everybody, I think there's something. But yeah, Nick, before we get on to the next topic, Nick, your final thoughts on Live versus PGA.
I'm more the opposite of all three of you. I honestly just don't. I don't know. I don't care, I guess. It's just, I've said this to you guys before. If someone walks up to you and is going to give you that big of a bag, man, it's hard to turn that down for guaranteed money. Not, oh, you could win this. It's guaranteed, like right up front. Come to our league, we'll take it. I can't fault them for that.
Right.
We could get into the where it's coming from and yada yada yada. I'm not going to go there. But I've been disappointed because, as we know, like I'm not searching for Liv to watch on TV. We've had this discussion here in Illinois. They played at Rich Harvest. I tried to find that on the internet that day.
It was pre-CW, I think. It was just on Yahoo TV.
It was last fall. And I watched like 20 minutes of it just to see the course, really. So I have not watched a single Liv event besides those 20 minutes. But now that the Masters has been here, and those guys, I don't know what they fought, I guess. Let's use that. Like, this is like 90s WCW versus WWE coming together. And it was huge. The ratings proved it. So maybe if it sucks that I'm not going to get to see Brooks. Brooks is my favorite golfer right now. I wish I could see him more often. But if it's going to be this big and he plays like that when they do come together, that's great for golf.
I mean, I think the majors have just been super elevated now.
Yes, I agree, Gumby.
Right? And I don't think that the majors needed that, but maybe they did.
I think the PGA did.
Yeah. Just because I think like
the Masters doesn't need it, but look what happened. Best ratings in what was it, 5-6 years? What was it?
They said it was 2018. It was Patrick Reed's year, which I was like, I don't remember that being that great of a year.
I looked back at that one, and like he led the third round, and then I think Spieth was the leader that day. Maybe not. I know Rory was in that final group too. Kind of.
Where was Rory? Where was Rory this weekend?
We all know.
I don't know what happened to Rory.
We all know. Why do you hate Rory so much?
I don't hate him.
Go ahead. Well, you called it out, so let's put it out there, buddy.
Okay, you want to put it out there? Dude, find someone to turn your brain off for this tournament only. Just shut it off. That's all it is. It's mental. There's no way he's that bad of a player. It's just mental.
Oh, well, for sure.
And he had played the course a ton.
He just steps on that first tee and it's like,
I'll say this. He's darned if he does, he's darned if he doesn't. Because here's the thing. Last year he said he turned it off in the last round. He shoots the 64, finishes solo second, right? You know what he did the year before that? He missed the cut. This year he misses the cut. So he came in this year, kept talking about playing free and not thinking, right? And then like on Golf Channel, you got Brandel Chambly saying, hey, look, like this hole, he's played this hole. He's 17 over in his career on this one particular hole. He keeps playing it the wrong way. You got to come in with a game plan. But that's not playing free. That's thinking, right?
That's thinking.
And I think for him, he is a little bit of an emotional player. And that's why he's probably one of the greatest front runners in all of golf history. You know, obviously T-Dub being the number one, right? But we all know he ran away at Congressional. He ran away at Kiowa, right? Like, it was Nike Rory that you saw battle out Phil at Valhalla, right? Like grind one out, but usually he likes to just back the field and run away with it. And
can we talk about one thing? I thought
we sort of had Nike Rory back with his new putter, but you know.
No, that's the thing.
Close.
Bring it back, Rory. I know you're not listening. Bring it back. Bring someone. If anybody's listening, someone at Nike, someone somewhere, tell him to bring it back. When's the last time he won a major? 2014.
Yes. What was he using?
The same putter I used with Blake Sledge in Colorado.
The putter,
which is funny. Blake will tell you, I took a lot of those shots, and that putter saved me.
It will release him. It will release Rory.
Well, that's a good one. I like that one.
All right, give us a story from the grounds before we get too long here.
Okay, I'll try to make these quick.
What you saw, who you saw, and stuff like that.
Well, let's start with the tree. Gumby, you've been there, so we were standing right where it fell, maybe 5 to 10 minutes before it fell. Jeez. Which was behind 16 green.
Yeah, it says 17 tee box.
Yep, there's the pine straw right there. So when it fell, the top of the tree
and 6 green is close as well.
Yep. So when it fell, if we still would have been standing where we were, the top of the tree probably would have landed 10 feet from us.
And you would have gotten Masters tickets for life.
Take
or
one for the
around
team,
at
right?
Augusta.
I said that to my buddy. I texted him. I go, "Would you take a concussion from a tree for Masters tickets for life?" And he goes, "Yeah, but anything else, I don't know. Depends on how good my life would be after."
Yeah, well,
I
gotta
going to the
tell you,
Masters every year.
those were not small trees. So you walking out with just an injury and not death.
Well, that's why I said concussion. Yeah, but
So yeah, that was Friday, which was just a beautiful day. Who else? We saw a certain Paige Sporanic on hole 13. Extremely nice, by the way. Honest to God, extremely nice. What she has to deal with is, yeah.
luckily, no pictures.
No, but which she did an interview. Was it on her Instagram Live? She was talking about how she liked that better because people actually came up just to talk to her and not take the picture. I saw.
Was there a line of people trying to talk to her or anything, or no?
No, I wouldn't call it a line. When they were walking and they notice her, they'd say hi to her.
Bump in, yeah.
So Friday, we watched Brooks tee off on 1, and started walking down 1 fairway, and we get to where his ball had landed in the middle of the fairway, and I heard someone say, "Where'd Brooks's ball go?" So I just turned to her and I said, "It's in the middle of the fairway." Well, the person that asked ended up being Brooks's mom, but Jenna was with her. So I was standing next to Jenna. So we walked up to the green with those two, and then let them go on their way. So I saw Jenna, Brooks's mom. I don't know, tons of wives. Like I said, the Phenom Fresh family, they have their own cult following now, man. It's awesome. The kids are out there. They're a cool group. I know I'm gonna forget people that I saw. Josh Allen.
Best dressed person you saw.
Oh my gosh, that best dressed person.
Yeah, I know you said the Phenom Fresh. You saw Paige, but let's rate the outfits. Did anybody come properly dressed to watch the Masters tournament?
People, I don't know these people, but I don't know. It's something like the Southern girl, Kentucky Derby type. The dress, the hat stuff. It baffles me as a golfer when women come out there dressed like that, knowing they're walking. And Gumby, you know how hilly this place is, and that's what they're wearing. They got platforms on, and I'm like, how are you going to do this? But I mean, they do it, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I saw the one meme, and it was this old couple that was dressed to the nines, and the thing was, they were newlyweds when Patrick Cantlay teed off this morning.
Yes.
So that's our segue. That's our segue into Cantlay. Here we go.
Oh, no. Wait, we'll get to that. But I do have to tell Matt this. So, what was Saturday night? Friday night? Whatever night that we met up with Justin and Jacques. That was Friday night. So Saturday, we're walking down 13 again. And I'm talking to my buddy. I'm like, dude, he's wearing Jordan 1s. So I'm walking closer and closer. And I'm like, my eyes come up, and this dude's wearing the red Nike golf poncho, and I'm like, holy cow, look at this.
That was there.
So it was Jacques. So I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, holy crap. So yeah, we spent the entire afternoon just walking with Jacques around Augusta.
Wait. So did you tell Jacques how much grief you give me for the Nike poncho?
Yes. But wait a second. Is yours the red one?
No, I do not have the red one. I have
the
snakeskin, demo one, which I would love to get the red one. So, Jacques, let me know what size you are. But we are poncho buddies now, Jacques.
I'm going to let you in on something else. I'm going to let you in on something else, Matt, because you're the poncho guy. Jacques can attest to this. We were walking down 17. It's raining, and we both did the double take. Out there somewhere in the wild, there is a peach poncho. There was a person wearing it. The same colors they did all the shoes in.
So it's like a new poncho. But it was a Nike poncho?
Brand new. Yep.
Nike insiders, as you hear this, send us messages.
Holy cow.
Probably a sample piece.
Let me back this up a little bit. It's not so much the shoes. It's identical to the golf bag that came out.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's out there.
Ooh. We just got
I'm going to be on eBay. Be on eBay for the next 5 years looking for it. Thanks, Nick.
Anyone got more ponchos?
So I'll get to Cantlay. I want to tell you like where we decided to post up on Sunday. We fast walked because there's no running. We fast walked down to the hill to the side of 16, which also doubles as the hill that you tee off on 6 up above and hit down. So we could see their second and third shots in the green on 15. We could see all of 16, tee shots on 17, and then all of hole 6. So we watched all the leaders come through 6, and then some of the earlier guys come through 16 and whatever. And as soon as Brooks and Rahm went through, we got up and walked to Amen Corner and waited for the leaders to come through there. And then as soon as Brooks and Rahm got through 13, we beat-feeded back to 16 to watch everybody go through there. So
yeah,
that's
the prime spot. Maybe
I think so, Keith. It's the most golf I think you can see in one spot. I know Amen Corner is Amen Corner, but you can only see, depending on where you're sitting, you can only see their approach and maybe not even their approach. But them on 11, you can see all of 12. But the new tee box is so far back, you can't even see them tee off. So I like where we ended up sitting. It was perfect.
So what about Cantlay?
You want to talk about him now?
Yeah, quickly. This will be our last topic before we get into Keith's pick and wrap this show up, as it's been a great one. But let's talk about slow play on the course. Talk about Cantlay.
So
how we feeling about it?
I'm probably the wrong person to talk about this dude because he was at the USAM at Erin Hills, and that's where I originally started to not like him as much. But it was obvious. Like, he just came out, yesterday and said he had to wait too? Yeah. No, the group in front of him finished 2.5 holes before they did. Like, just... It was obvious when your playing partner is running up the fairway, hitting balls before you're even thinking about hit it. It was horrible.
There's very telling when Hovland's putting on 13, and Cantlay hasn't even crossed the creek yet. Like, that was like,
I was right there.
The group gets the warning. The group gets the warning, right?
Correct.
Right.
Which.
Do they get a warning at Augusta?
I don't. You'd have to really mess something up to get a warning from.
It's probably like the Patriots Super Bowl. Like, they're not going to call it in the big game, right? But if it was a regular PGA Tour event, they would.
But I also think like they know that the clock that they're trying to like beat, because they have to get everyone through by 7:30. You know what I mean?
And it was so. And it was. We kept looking at our watches, thinking they're not gonna get this done.
Yeah, and I was eating Easter dinner, and I was like, "How is this still going on? Like, how is the tournament still happening right now? Because normally it's like finished or a little bit like earlier. They can do the pictures outside, which I think they did, but it definitely was like the darker of the ceremonies outside.
Yep. You know? I don't know. You hear it's just. I think it's just. All we talk about is growing the game and playing faster. You hear it all the time. Nothing ever happens. Nothing's ever done about it. There's every major that seems like there's one player who's out there, or maybe more than one, that is just slowing everybody down. And you could see it in Brooks. Like, Sunday morning, he had to finish his third round, and he had that par putt on 7. We were right there, and he missed it right out of the gate. So bogey, Rahm birdies. He goes from 4 to 2 in 15 seconds. And he walked from 7 to 8, and I was right on the rope, and he was fine. He had just bogeyed, but he was fine. And then when they hit their tee shots, him and Rahm were talking to each other, walking down. Everything was cool. He seemed upbeat still, but by the time it was getting to where Cantlay was slowing him down in that 4th round, he was irritated.
Yeah, and I like Brooks obviously because of his upbeat play, and I can't like Brooks more, but I love the fact that he called this guy out. Like I love it, right?
Yep.
And he did it in a nice way too.
He did.
Like,
he very much did so.
He didn't do it in his. Sometimes I would say like when Brooks was Brooks, he was very like I don't give a f about anything.
Yeah.
And so he was at least still like cordial by saying like, man, that group in front of us, like it was just slow. You know?
Well, and I think it helps that he mentioned how many times Rom went to the bathroom, and then he gets done and they're still waiting, or the videos and pictures of him and Rom just sitting there waiting, and they're just talking to each other. I mean, it wasn't just Brooks. Like, Keith, Brooks ended up playing bad. Well, I'm just saying he played bad because of it. I mean, we all know he likes to play fast, so.
But that's the thing about playing fast, right? Like if you play fast, it allows you to get over, say, a bogey putt real quickly. You're on to the next one, right? But then when you got to sit and stew on it, and I know Brooks is built different than most of us, so maybe it doesn't affect him, but it's not the greatest. I mean, Keith, you just said you had a long round today, right? Like pace of play, like how does that affect you?
Yeah, like the front nine we had today, it was just like we got done in an hour and a half, and then the back nine we caught up to no offense or anything, like a women's league that went out and there was tons of them, and they gossip the whole time, and it's just like they don't have no urgency to just keep moving and keep moving. The back nine took 2.5 hours, so it's just like, and we didn't catch up to them until we were on the 14th hole, and it took another hour and a half plus, an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to finish those last 4 holes.
4 holes.
And then the course will be like you still got 4 hours in, but
yeah. But I know we're going to run into nothing's done about it. Like you said, Nick, nothing is being done about it. And it's a major talking point on Golf Channel, on ESPN. It's always a major talking point for these networks, but nothing happens. So
well, this is like my brother. My brother said, the guy's like, you want to put an advertisement on, put it on Patrick Cantlay, because the camera's going to be on him for 2-3 minutes per putt. Right? Like when he won the FedEx Cup, like the guy was just out there. And now here you are in the Masters. You're not in contention. You're 4-putting and you're still doing your stupid aim point stuff. Like, dude.
Stop the aim point from 2 feet. You're a professional golfer.
Like I would say it's almost to the point, like, no offense to the people. Like I've learned the aim point thing a little bit, like where you kind of do the fingers from like far away. But now this garbage of like straddling your line within a certain amount, like they're going to have to ban something about it because it's getting way too slow.
Yes.
It's getting way too bad, because what happens is, and I think the TV stations are the ones that need to push this, right? Because if I'm CBS or NBC, I know somebody's got a birdie putt. I'm cutting the camera to you to watch you all of a sudden straddle the line, walk behind, put a couple peace signs up in the air, and then straddle the line again. Shut up and putt. Like, what are you doing? And I get it. Like, livelihoods are on the line and OWGR points and all this stuff. But guess what? It is for everybody else too. And and this is what I mean about respect. You are totally disrespecting the 2 guys that had a legitimate chance to win by messing up their round, right? Like, because now that's the talking point. It's not that, Rahm outplayed Brooks, or that, maybe Brooks let go of the rope a little bit. The talking point is it took them 6.5 hours to play a round as a twosome.
And the thing that I think was the worst part about it is he obviously knew that Hovland was pissed. You can clearly see what you're doing, and I feel like he just backed it up even more. Dude, just get out of your way. Yeah, exactly. Not the shirts he was wearing, but
I know he changed his complete scripting once after Thursday's round.
True story.
He was supposed to be in a couple other different stuff from Jay Lindbergh, and he went to like something even worse. I feel like with that like brown orange on Friday, but
I had a retailer tell me that they had 7 orders for that shirt that morning. 7.
People are weird.
And that thing's $125, right? Like,
hey, can we all just say one thing? Thank you, Nike, for finally getting Nelly away from that.
Oh my gosh. You want to talk about a broken design, like that stupid JL, like nobody gets it, y'all. it looks like two straight lines. Nobody knows that is a JL on their back shoulders. Free advice.
I do think Nike scripting was pretty good this week. They did a little bit of like the khaki and blue a lot. Like I think Rory was in that and some other, and that was like it's kind of like a, But I like Scotty's opening look with the green and the blue. I think green and blue go together really well.
The only one I didn't like Brooks's Thursday with the shoes. It was the orange and the yellow. Yeah, someone. Yep. One of our former like Nike like friends in the universe of Instagram texted me, and he just has a brand new newborn son. He was like, "This looks like something that my son's diaper produced." And I was like, "Oh man!" And I was like, "I think the shoes like went well, but then, I mean, we can talk about the shoes quickly too. Is that like they did wear over time or in 4 days in wet weather in Augusta." Yep. His toes Brooks never changed his.
His toes were very like scuffed dirty on Sunday, but I still really liked them, and I think they still look really good with stuff. I just think they're a lot more yellow on TV, and that's what I think we talked about with our rankings of them from a couple of shows ago. Is that the next percents were a lot more yellow. Than say like the AM1s, which I think brought in more of that like orangey, peachy kind of feel.
So before a lot of people on the grounds wearing the AM1s too.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Before we do Keith's pick,
Masters edition.
Yeah,
Nick.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and by the way, shout out to Nike for finally releasing something a week ahead of time.
Finally.
Yes, so that you can wear it there.
Genius. I know. I wore mine to my master's party. I know Matt wore his to his master's party. So
I didn't wear mine because I struck out.
Yeah, but you were also there, so boo-hoo. But I do want to give you a chance. Do you want to score, or do you want to give a ranking of all the Masters releases?
Of the shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
Okay, cool. So what do you want to do, scores or ranks?
Scores.
Okay, scores. Okay, so first up, the nature. Interesting that they put a Masters theme on that one. Okay, we'll skip that one. Okay, so
okay.
All right. Okay. All right. So the next
we're still doing out of 5, right?
Yeah, out of 5. Okay. Out of 5, we'll do next percent.
Oh man, this is I wish they would have done more orange. I still like it though. It's really, really good. There were people on the course wearing those too.
Oh, nice.
Which I'm just not wearing a golf shoe to a golf tournament guy. But
yes, but it was slippery possibly.
This is what I'm saying. A little bit more traction.
This is you are completely right. But at the same time, you don't wear that shoe when it's pouring and muddy like that. That's
but
no.
Why is but
that was bold.
Jock was wearing the Air Jordans.
He's one reimagined.
The reimagines were just destroyed. Anyway, okay, 4-1.
Okay, on that one, great. Air Max 1.
Okay, I was going to ask you guys this: your grading system, is it for shoes of all time, or is it like just this year?
The way I do it is based on if I would do anything different on it. So like I gave the Air Max 1 a 5 because I said I don't think they could have done anything better, right? So it's not like it's going to be like that's what rankings are for. I think rankings like where we would rank them against other things.
Then it's a 5. It might be a 10.
Yep, Victory Tour.
They nailed it.
Well, if it was a 10-point scale, a 5 would be a 10. Just multiply by 2. Anyways, moving on. See, you had to come on. We're at 90 minutes. You knew I had to get snarky with you. I'm sorry, brother. All right, so here we go. Victory Tour 3.
It needed more pop.
I agree. I agree.
Did you end up keeping him, Matt? Or
yeah, I still got it. Sure. Okay.
I'll go. I'm gonna go like a 2.9.
Okay.
It needed more pop for me.
And lastly, the Air Jordan 6 Cheerwine Bordeaux wine, maybe whiskey cherry Belvedere.
And I think you guys, I'll go like 1.15.
That's our lowest yet.
Can I say why?
Yes, love to. That's why you're here.
I'm huge. I wish the OG Jordans that they come out with, the numbered Jordans, would give us OG colors, and I'm talking OG, not what they did with the infrared with the black midsole. I want true to color. I want those throughout the year, and I want the energies to just pop. This one, all it is the maroon. Really, when you boil down to it, it's just the original maroon color. I know it has the little subtle things on it, but from a distance, it's just the OG maroon. Really, sorry, MJ.
Yeah, no. Blake Sledge had it in his stories. I think it was either him or somebody he was golfing with had the infrareds on, and somebody else had the Masters one on. I almost prefer the infrared. I think.
Of the two, I prefer the infrared. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So with that, let's get into Keith's pick, the RBC Heritage current Masters champ John Rahm is there. We cannot pick John Rahm, even though he wore Jordan 11s at one point. Congratulations to you, John Rahm.
Elevated event too this year.
The RBC is really.
Yeah, that's why it's part of the.
They're all there. A lot of big guys are there.
Why Rahm got questioned about not pulling out because someone else did pull out. Rory, after last week, dropped out of this. So which is an interesting thing. So
I'll keep it short but sweet. I'm going Tony Finau.
Ooh.
Can the leader in the clubhouse go first? No, just kidding.
Oh, I'm all.
I do get the Jason Day points though.
No, you don't.
You do.
No, you don't.
He's a.
We all tied. No, we all tied.
He made the. What are you talking about?
We all tied. We had two picks. We had a PGA pick, and we had a live pick, and we all picked Brooks Koepka. So all three of us. You're still the leader. But we all get the Brooks Koepka point.
To suffice Justin's question. That was not.
So you can thank Justin Whelan. Send him a text. Say thank you very much. We all took Brooks Koepka. That's right. BK, have it your way.
All right. You can go. You can go, Gumby.
And just for that, I'm going to change. I won't pick Tony Finau now. I'll change it.
No, you pick him. You already picked him.
Tom Kim. Tom Kim is my pick this week.
Holy moly. We got a lot of guys beat up this year. They've been playing 2-3 weeks in a row. And I'm going with somebody that kicked off my Keith's pick last year. I'm bringing him back. And I think he needs another W to make it 3 on the year. And I'm going Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, he did it.
I did it. The jinx is over. Let's go, Scotty. Let's go.
Agreed. I like that.
Am I up?
Guest of honor.
Well, you stole my thunder. I think he's going to come back. He was not happy with the way he played this week. And, I mean, the rest of the year they've been flip-flopping, Rahm and him. So why not flip-flop one more time? I'm going to go with Scotty.
All right.
Nobody went Fleetwood. Interesting.
Tommy's played. He's played 3. This is his 3rd or 4th week in a row. I'm every 3 weeks with Tommy I keep track of him because I like picking him.
Yeah,
that's the kind of insights that we get.
I do like the Tony pick this week as well, but
yeah, I'm sorry, man. I sincerely apologize.
No, you're good. I didn't even think about the live guys. I literally was just watching Jason Day the whole week. I was like, cool. Rory's out. Tiger's out. I got the win in the bag.
Maybe a fair compromise. Keith and I will take a point for Brooks. You'll get 2 points, one for Brooks and one for J-Day.
Yeah, that works.
You get 3. 2's a major.
Yeah, 2's a major. Exactly.
So we'll give him
me on the board, though. I'm 0-4. So give me a point.
You on the board.
You're on the board. You're on the board now, Keith.
So we've got Matt going with Tony, Keith going with Scotty, Nick going with Scotty, and myself going with Tom Kim. So that is Keith's pick. This has been a hell of a ride. It's been all over the place for this episode, but that's what normally happens.
We didn't even talk about Tony's Sunday shoes.
I didn't even see what shoes did he wear on Sunday.
Was he not on TV a lot?
Barely.
No,
he was barely on TV.
I knew that he was wearing green because he always wears green on Sunday, but I didn't.
He was wearing the white and green Jordan 1 highs.
Oh,
No, was he really?
Oh wait, okay. Let's score it. Let's score it. Everybody score it real quick.
I
Nick.
need more. I need more with those. I did like
not my
them.
favorite.
I like the green.
3-9.
Yeah.
What are you
I was
going,
going
Nick?
to go 3-5.
3-9.
3-9.
3-5.
Yeah, 3-2.
Ooh, I'll go 4-0.
I like the green, but it's just
I like the green too, and I like that it's like a metallic-y, but I need more with it. It was just like
He made it look good.
Oh yeah, makes everything look good. So, yeah, that's on the podcast, guys. This is an hour, 90 minutes of all over the place of Masters recap. Nick's back on, and we're gonna go. We've got some awesome guests coming up, lined up, ready to go. Just getting everything in order. PGA in another month because we just go month. I'll be on the grounds on Saturday, so if anyone's there at the PGA Championship on Saturday, please come find me and say hi. I will go back to your story about you running into Tiger, Nick, at the Masters and kind of just like being there. First time I ever saw Tiger was at Oakmont, Oak Hill. Sorry, I'm from the area and I still can't know. Was at Oak Hill in 13,
Rochester.
Right? Yeah, Rochester.
And
it was, I staked out the putting green, knowing that he gets to the thing about 2 hours early, an hour and a half early. Sat there and see Joey come out with the bag, and I was like, front row, here we go. And then you see Tiger emerge, and I just was like Tiger's like, I'm here, and Tiger's just bending down into the cooler to get a water, and I was like, that's pretty cool. You're right there. And then everyone followed him. Like you had to bounce 2-3 holes sometimes because you couldn't get to where he was. And I remember also, I think it was 7 maybe, and I just stood on the back of the tee box and watched him hit that, like, it must have been the red covert, like little like 3-wood or 5-wood or something like that, and he just the piss missile that he sent off that tee box, the way it sounded, the way it looked was just so cool. So that just reminded me of your story of like just being there, like just being right there when he shows up. And
it's so much different
for me. So it's phenomenal.
You know, is his time up? Probably.
Don't say another word.
This one, this injury is different, man. I'm telling you, when I saw him on Saturday in that cold and the rain, he's hurting, man.
I mean, but that's just where we need optimal weather for him. You know, we need.
Well, then why don't you talk to the PGA and move it back to warm weather?
Hey, I'm with you on that one.
I know you are.
I know,
hoping you knew somebody.
Rochester in May is not a guarantee.
Exactly.
No, it might snow.
This whole thing's dumb. I mean, they keep trying to make the FedEx Cup playoffs a thing. It's not. Like,
they just don't want it to compete with football. And I think that's just, who cares?
But then, you know what? Finish on Saturdays. Start Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Finish on a Saturday. You're up against college football, but you're not up against the beast that is the NFL. But and have that be your wraparound schedule. But this is gross right now. Like I said, Sawgrass is like fall conditions.
That's my big thing is Sawgrass and then the PGA being next instead of the US Open and then the Open and then
but they're playing in LA and they're wearing winter coats in LA for the Hyundai.
Yeah, but the PGA was middle of August. There's no college football or NFL.
No, it's because then they moved.
I know the FedEx Cup, but put that in May. Or here's an idea: put it in Hawaii in December.
There you go. Go. I like that. Again, remember to become a supporter of the podcast, like going to anchor.fm or whatever it's called now, Spotify for podcasters. The Swoosh Life / support. And Nick is, if you're watching this on YouTube, Nick is showing off all of his grails.
Hey, DJ Khaled, let's go golfing.
I'm just making everyone jealous. So thank you to all our supporters. Thank you to all the stuff that we have going on and coming up.
What's wrong?
Can't wait to get going on this golf season coming up now.
One set I want still.
Which one?
Is the
head you just put on the head.
Oh, the head.
We shouldn't even name it so people have to go to YouTube. But
yeah,
the clubs that did not come out.
Please subscribe to our YouTube. We're at.
Gumby's trying to get out of here. He's trying.
Gumby's trying to get out of here. Nick's trying to.
46 subscribers.
This isn't something you would collect, so I think you can take this, Matt. Koozie.
Oh, Matt got a koozie.
Oh, nice.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Oh my goodness. Send it with my stuff. Nick.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
For the Swoosh Life Podcast, this has been a fun one. This Masters recap. For myself, Gumby, that's been Nick. That's been Matt. That's been Keith.
Release butter this weekend. Show us your methods.
Hit us with it, Nick.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram at the Swoosh Life Podcast to stay up to date on all things swoosh. And if you have any questions, comments, or business inquiries, please email us at theswooshLifePodcast@gmail.com. And lastly, give us a follow or review and become a supporter of the podcast at anchor.fm/theswooshlife/support. Thank you all for listening. See you in the next one.
Checks over stripes, yeah, that's what I like. Yeah, that's